Good morning, everybody. Sorry for the late start. 8:16 a.m. It is May 4th, June 4th. It is June 4th. Yesterday, another little wild day yesterday. We took back a lot of that move at the end of the day on Friday, kind of corrected it, but then the market was bought up. And when that happens, all right, if something like that happens, that means the market is just waiting for something. That's really what that means. All right, you don't sell off like that, get bought back up. It was just basically a corrective move because we have non-farm payrolls coming out and unemployment on Friday. Okay, and like I said, I don't know if I made it very clear, but certain sectors were like hitting trend lines. They were like hitting the most traded prices of their months in the sectors, which would cause some kind of like push pull, like there's not going to be a big move going to happen kind of thing. And that's kind of exactly what happened. So basically, longs were shaken out, and then longs got reactivated, and sellers had the cover yesterday. So that's basically what happened yesterday. So without further ado, with this late start here, welcome to my channel. My name's Steven Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile to find structure in the markets. All right, using supply and demand, also gamma exposure levels, anchor view as the most traded price of the year, the month, the week, the previous day, all to help me find structure in the market, which had helped me yesterday. Okay, game plans, the scenario that I liked yesterday came to fruition. Okay, we took out single prints in the ES. We went, remember yesterday, if you can go back yesterday when I was talking about the Nasdaq, I said, oh, I do not like a long in the Nasdaq. It does not look good. I don't like it. It could go higher, but I didn't like it. So I wound up short and SPY because I didn't like Nvidia's strength. So that turned out to be a good move. We can go over it a little bit later. So anyway, for joining me for the first time, I do this every day at 8:10 a.m. Okay, and we'll go over what's going on in the market. All right, we'll go over leaders and laggards, news, and later going on daily charts. And then at 8:30, I like to do my scenarios of the ES and the NQ and possible trades. Okay, that's basically what's going on. Hopefully, you give me a like. If you do, you can wait to the end. And if anybody has any questions, please leave a comment, put it in the chat. We'll get to it. All right, we'll get right to it. So let's go move on right to the watch list right here. Okay, and we'll see where we're at in futures. All right, now the VIX is up 4.88%. It's at 13.74. Okay, we got 30-year bonds continually being bought. That should drive yields lower. Dollar is up 0.09. All right, Bitcoin is only down slightly to 0.27. Okay, Dow is down 0.28, Nasdaq's down 0.32, ES down 0.36, Ether's down 0.57, Russell down 0.63, gold down 0.84, 10-year yield, because it's 820. Look at that, down again, almost a percent. So look, we went all the way up to 4.6 yield. Now we're dropping down. People are buying those bonds. All right, crude down another 1.85%. All right, that was at the most traded price for about a year, and it lost it. It's expected when you're at that level, right? Longs had to liquidate their position, and I saw that Biden added to the strategic petroleum reserve yesterday as well. You got cheaper prices. So let's see, silver down 2.87%. All right, that's what's going on there. Let's go to the Mag 7 plus. Snow leading the pack, up 1.15%. Tesla followed by Tesla. Boeing with those Korean possibly buying 30 jets. Baba, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Kind of pulled back yesterday above 78. 78 is a gamma flip point in Baba. All right, also a breakout point. So hopefully that continues. All right, it's a wild stock because every morning you can gap up, gap down, depending on what happens in China. All right, you got Nvidia's flat. Now, let's go into some of the laggards: Roblox, Meta, Coinbase, JP Morgan, all right, AMD. So I think this market should move sideways this week until non-farm payrolls. All right, had a lot of corrective activity lower. Okay, we've just made a big move up, but we have made a move lower. Now it might be time to take a little rest and move sideways. All right, that's what the charts are kind of telling me, that we're kind of just holding a little bit for more information. Moving on, top sector stocks. Not much of a leader here. Eli Lilly up 0.18, and there's not much to speak of, but there is some laggards here. Let's go to the laggards. We got Cat's at a key level, about 330. Qualcomm down 0.47. Semis are weak this morning. Morgan Stanley, so financials should be a little weak this morning. They are. Chevron with the crude going down, Exxon with crude going down, and then Salesforce continuing. Got a pop, but it's down 1%. Okay, down 1%. Now let's look at the swings. All right, who's leading pack here? That I think this is Viking Therapeutics. I could be wrong with that. Up 4.17. Intel, that's a semi that's getting love, up 1.25. There's not much more to talk about there. Let's look at laggard. Why is that failing to remember what stock that is? Usually I know every ticker. Bath and Body Works, that's it. So they are down. GameStop down. What is that? Make My Trip. AMC down. Vertiv down. GDXJ down. OpenAI. Taiwan Semis. Super Microcomputers. ARM. Right? Marvel. So you got some semis. Got weak here. All right, moving on. Market's very benign in the stuff that's moves. Okay. Moving on to sectors. There is no leader this morning, but we got some laggards here. Industrials, CAT, right? Technology, that would be some semis. Okay. Semis down 0.42. Then you got some weakness in financials, down 0.48, and energy down 0.89, with crude really moving lower. Okay. All right. That wraps up that. Now we can get to economic calendar today. All right. We got the economic calendar today. Let's see where we're at here. What do we got today? We got Jolt's Jobs at 10 a.m. So looks like I'm not putting any trade on around that time. Have to wait for about 10:10 about for that to shake out. You also got factory orders, and 10 a.m. you got 3 data is coming out. Then you got crude inventories, API actually, API at 4:30 in crude. All right, that's what we have for today. All right, now upgrades, downgrades. Was there really something today to note? Let's see, upgrades, Upstart, downgrades, Stanley Black and Decker, coverage initiated. Let's see here. I just want to see if anything stands out. Not Qualcomm got. Let's see, Qualcomm rate to a buy, but that doesn't matter today. And the news, I don't think there's really much news that I want to talk about. Let's see real quick here. All right, so GameStop fell 3.3. Tesla stock rose 0.3. Intel stock gained 1.4. The tech giant launched its next generation Xeon server processors. There you go. That's why Intel is moving. Let's see. Viking Therapeutics stock rose 5%, while with the biotech company benefiting from the news that the institutional investor Dorsey and Whitney Trust had bought a new stake in the fourth quarter. Okay. I think. Let's see if the juice has anything. All right, talking about Taiwan and China, I did see Taiwan Semiconductor say they cannot move their operations. Let's see here. I don't think there's anything more to do here. Alright, I think we can move on to daily charts. Let's do that. Alright, so looks like we broke that downtrend here. So just look at these wicks. This tells you a lot about this market, right? You go all the way down, bought up, all the way down, bought up, right? Into this congestion area. Like I said, I think this market is waiting. 525.81, that's where we're at now. 525.81. Such a large session yesterday. We're at the kind of like at the midpoint of yesterday's session, which is like not a lot of edge when you're into that. When you do that, not a lot of edge. Let's look at the futures here. All right, so you can see here lower high, lower high, lower high, and we're kind of battling these two moving averages. But obviously, if we can take out around 53.12, we can possibly move back up to 53.39. But like I said, it's just a congestion here. I don't think, because look, if you go down low and you can't sustain it, well, sellers are not in control. But also, we're not exactly ripping, roaring up. So you have to look. You have to really note that, right? Now, we got a little baby downtrend here that was broken yesterday, but then closed below it. Okay, so look again. This is a little uptrend line here that we kind of wicked, and look at those big wicks, boy. That's buying. That's buying. Remember, momentum's still with buyers. Now in the Qs, your 451.60, 451.60. We are all the way down here. Yeah, like again, in the middle of yesterday's session. And guess what? The 50% retracement of Friday was where the buyers stepped in. Also happened to be a previous month's highs. All right. So, let's look at futures. Look at that. Lower high, lower high, lower high, and you're just congested. Right? You just congested. Now let's go to triple-headed monster. Look at those yields drop off. Look at those yields drop off right to a trend line. All right, look at that. Boom, boom. One hit, two hit trend line, right? That's a pretty nice. And now we're here, right at the 200-day moving average. The trend line doesn't matter. We're here. I mean, people are buying bonds right now. So we could come to this level right here on 4.3 and see what happens. 200-day moving average, right? You got a rising 50 or below that now. So very interesting, right? Because there's two ways you can look at it. Yields that are coming down, right, usually strengthen the market. But if people are buying bonds, people are bracing for something, right? So it's kind of, right? This is the triple-headed monster that we're bringing to you right now. So let's move over to dollar. Now the dollar's been in a range, right? I think it still is in that range. Well, yesterday it did break lower. Today it's getting a little love. So it did kind of break out of this little range yesterday. Hit this 103.90 about. So see, that's at the 200-day moving average too. So we just have to see. I think they're waiting on information, basically. Okay. And let's go to our VIX. Our VIX, we were low down here at 11, popped up, right? And now we're kind of like hanging out here at 13, okay? So, but you need to break this high around 15, establish some real fear. Right now, fear is still really not there, okay? It's still not there. Remember, VIX is 30 days out of fear, all right? 30 days out of fear in hedging. That is that. All right, now let's go over to the market profile, volume profile. We were following structure in this market. Okay, let's move right here. Let's just see what we have going on here. Oh, I didn't get my marker out today. Okay, let's do it. So first thing we look at is the rolling week profile. Here we go. We got a distribution here, a distribution. This is what I'm talking about. Look at all these distributions. Oof. Right? Value area. Now check this out. 70% of the trade in the value area. Well, guess where price is? In the value area. Okay? Right where the market's deeming fair prices. So like I'm saying, and look, here's the midpoint of yesterday. Price is right there. You're in the middle of yesterday's session. That is not an edge, really. Okay, it's really not a great place to trade. Now I want to show you something here about yesterday. Now, yesterday, look what happened. Overnight opened right here. Overnight closed, and then we opened right here, and I had only that much long activity. Once that happened, and remember what I said, and you took out this most traded price in the overnight, right? We tested it one more time up here, right? And then I said, look out for this week low. Look out for the most traded price of the week, the overnight low, the close, I said, and there was single prints all here. Well, look what we did. Cleaned out all the singles and more, and then the market got bought back up and closed here, which made this market tell you right there, nobody's winning anything right now. All right, so we got price here. All right, most traded price of yesterday is right here. So the only thing we do have is higher low, higher low, higher low. All right, so one thing to note, inventory for the overnight. This is the only long activity to this much short activity. So we're about 90% net short, but we're at the mid. Not the best place to be. Like I said, yesterday was looking very juicy. Like I said, I took the short. That was a nice trade. I could have shorted again. But I was looking at some option plays, so I really could have went in or added to my original position. That would have been even a better trade. But you gotta analyze your trades after you do them. Okay. Now you notice here in the 24-hour session, this is the most traded price around 52.70. Right here is found support here. So we got multiple distributions. So these high volume nodes are gonna pop, and the market's gonna bounce in between them. All right. So if you look at it, overnight session is high and low inside yesterday's session again, which just shows you indecision. There's not a juicy look right now to this market. Right now, I'm like inside yesterday, by the most traded price, in the middle of yesterday's session, and we're inside the whole day of yesterday. So, inside days, you're probably going to want to see really if we can go to the highs or lows of yesterday. It's really what's going to be the key. All right, now we do have a week high here at 53.13 right there. Week high just means you got an overnight low and yesterday's highs equal. Okay, that could be a breakout point or it could be a resistance point. Okay, now looking at structure, most traded price of the month still up here, 53.24. Market is still below it. Here's the most traded price of the week. Currently, we're below it. So structure wise, bears are a little bit in control. Okay, in control right now in the last couple days. All right, and bulls have control macro wise. All right, so today, like, I'm really not seeing a ton of great things here. All right, so but we'll do what we have here and do some scenarios here. All right, because like I'm saying right now, it's like and your overnight low and overnight highs are really going to see where we're at here. All right, so if I'm a bull, okay, and price is here, now we know that there's a big distribution here. So what I would say here is the overnight low. And now this might turn into the most traded price of the week, 52.70. You're going to want to see how bulls react here. All right, we already got bought here, right? Higher low from yesterday. And like I said, when you're in the middle of inside of yesterday's session, you're going to want to see what it does when it tests these overnight lows. Does it get bought up? Do you go to the most traded price yesterday? Then there's supply you got to deal with, right? Supply zones. Like I said, this is just not a great area to trade. All right, you have to see if you can make it back up to that week high and possibly break it and go to the most traded price of the month. Okay, I would also put to see if we test yesterday's lows as well. I wouldn't like that as much. Reason why is this distribution here, this high volume node, that would be, you'd put you under this. So I really like this better for the long. All right, now we're talking short. Okay, a couple things here. You got supply here, zones. Okay, so what I would say is any kind of movement up into here, and you could fail at the most traded price of yesterday, and you could roll, and then you're going to test the overnight low and this distribution that might turn into the most traded price. All right, if you break that and hold, well, you're going to test yesterday's lows. If you could break that, you're going to go test the naked VPOC, which is the most traded price, okay, of Friday. Okay, that's one. Now, a little conservative wise, if you just want to look at this level here with the overnight low, and you're like, you want to be conservative, well, all that matters is if we break this and hold, you're going to get that test, and you got to see what happens here. But if you break yesterday's lows, like I said, you can go down here. Okay, of course, you could come up here. Let's say the market does go through all of this, which I don't think would be easy, and you test that week high. This could also be a boop, and then the market starts rolling over, and we go back into this mess. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. All right, now market's mixed this morning. Now you do have semis are down, technology is down, but the technology is not down a lot. Like I said, these lows are being bought. So like I said, it's kind of like a battle right now. All right, so let's look at the NASDAQ together, and let's see what structure looks here. All right, remember, they're not on the same path really right now. Let's look at distribution here, and there's our profile. So we got value area here with a little bit of excess to the top. Okay, now what is happening is we're heading into ultimate balance here. Okay, ultimate balance would mean when the most traded price of the week and the most traded price of the month start to converge and be close to each other. Now, this is a 24-hour chart, basically. So in the 24 hours, the most traded price of the month and the week are pretty much equal. That, my friends, is setting up for a monster move, either up or down. Okay, so currently in the real-time trading hours, this is the most traded price of the week. Today, most likely, this will roll to here, and then we'll have ultimate balance. Okay, so the Qs are just setting up for a very big move. Okay, now remember, next June 10th is the split in Nvidia. How does that if that goes down to like 110 shares, 100 and whatever shares, right? That's the price. I mean, the price would be like 108 or 110, whatever. Does the market buy that, or do you get some initial selling? You know, so we'll see. Okay, so price is below this big level. It's right here. Now yesterday, just to recap really quickly, I said this 186.90, and I think it was higher yesterday. I want to say it was 187.50. This moved actually. Yeah, see this node right here, this high volume node? That's where it was. I had to move it. So when the market couldn't go above that, remember I said that? I said I don't trust this at NASDAQ at all. It has to find acceptance over that level. Couldn't, and then boom. Okay. Now, Same thing. Here's the highs yesterday. Here's the lows yesterday. Overnight highs, overnight lows. Inside yesterday, right exactly at the midpoint of yesterday. Garbage location. Horrible location. You don't want to initiate something there. Now what I'm saying for my style, I don't like initiating in the middle of the middle. It just doesn't make sense. I need some kind of push out to test some edges here to define what I want to do. This is not really great trade entry location for me, because what happens from here, you are going to push out. I don't know where. Okay, so let's look at this. You are pretty much 90% net short, but doesn't really matter. You're at the mid-session of the overnight. You're at the midpoint of the overnight. Okay, so like I said, the level that still comes into question right here is, again, it's going to be very similar to the ES, because they're structurally they're the same as far as the relation of the overnight session to yesterday's session. They're not the same as far as the big levels, okay, but you still have this level that is the most traded price, okay, of the month, and you're underneath it. Structurally, just for the now, that is bearish. The market needs to accept prices above that. Okay, so that's really the story here in the NASDAQ. Okay, all right. So if we're going to get into some scenarios here, it's pretty simple. And again, today I'm not loving it. But however, when you're inside of yesterday, the overnight low and the overnight high become very important. Okay, so I'm going to be honest, you do have a weak low here. Now, what I want to explain that why. Here's the value area of yesterday. This is where 70% of the trade happened. 70% of people traded in this area. Look at the overnight low, matches the value area low. It actually the overnight high matches the value area high. So we are going to get a reaction one way or the other. Okay, and the value area is 70% of where people trade. That's the most trading happened in that area. It's called the value area, and it just so happens to be the overnight low and the overnight high. So very simply, this week low, it's got to be defended by bulls. Okay, this week high, it's got to be defended by bears. And the market is going to test one of these areas because we're in the middle. Okay, so very simply put, when we get into the scenarios here, okay, NASDAQ scenarios, very nice now that I see that's lined up. Okay, what we're going to do here is go right for a bull scenario. What is the bull scenario? Very easy. Come down here, test this week low, which is the value area low yesterday and the overnight low. Test it. If you find some buyers, get higher lows, we're probably going to try to test this area. And then this is a week high here. You got a lot of work to do, NASDAQ, to go through this. You have to go through it, hold, establish value to see if you could possibly move higher. Not going to be easy, but that's what I'm seeing. Now, conversely, right, if we're going to go bear, it's the same thing here. I want to see if the market can push up, got supply here, push up into this level. Okay, I want to see if this can find acceptance above this level. Now you got supply above here and here. Okay, so the first thing I want to see, if we test this area, even if we do this, but then we come back under and hold, we are going to test the most traded price of yesterday. Then we're going to go down and test that week low. Okay, the overnight around 185.11. If we break that and hold, we're going to go and test yesterday's lows, and we could eventually go down here to this demand zone about 183.50, which is also a naked VPOC of Friday's most traded price. To me, that's the easier trade, just because you don't have much holding you down from that move down. Okay, that will wrap up scenarios. Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed the analysis. If you didn't, if you don't understand it, please subscribe, set an alert. I do this every day. I do it live every day. I don't look at this. My homework, my analysis happens live with you guys. So I like to keep it that way. And if you don't see what I see right away, that's okay. I used to look at this and go like, what am I looking at? I don't see what this guy's talking about. All right, and I'll throw some people out there. Futures Trader 71, Josh Schuler from Trade with Profile, Peter Resnicek from Shadow Trader. All those guys have helped me read these charts just like I'm doing it with you guys. So now I see it right off the bat. In the beginning, it wasn't very easy to see for me. Okay, so hopefully you liked it. Give me a thumbs up, a like. Be much appreciated. You could also follow me on X at Gonzo719. All right, so everybody, please stay patient. Wait for the move to test like those areas, like I said, and then we'll react. All right. Good luck. Stay green, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.